second chapter of Peter Pan. This chapter is called The Children Are Left Unattended. One night, the Darlings were getting ready for a dinner party. Mrs. Darling went into the nursery to show Wendy her new gown. Suddenly, Mr. Darling rushed in. "This tie won't tie," he thundered. Then Nana brushed against him. She got hairs on his new trousers. On top of everything, Michael would not take his medicine. "I always took my medicine without a fuss when I was a boy," said Mr. Darling. "Why, I will take my own medicine now to show you. But I've lost the bottle. In fact, Mr. Darling has hidden it." "I know where it is," cried Wendy. She quickly brought him the bottle. "Why don't you and Michael take your medicine together?" Mr. Darling did not like the idea one bit, but what could he do? Wendy counted. 1, 2, 3. Michael took his medicine, but Mr. Darling hid his behind his back. "Oh, Father!" cried Wendy. The children stared as if they had no longer admired him. Even Mrs. Darling shook her head. Mr. Darling was embarrassed. Perhaps a good joke would make them respect him again. "Look," he said, "I'll pour my medicine into Nana's mouth. Wouldn't that be funny?" Mr. Darling called Nana to her bowl. The children tried to stop her, but Nana began to drink the milk. Suddenly she stopped. She looked up at Mr. Darling with tears in her eyes. Then she crept into her kennel. "The poor dog, Mrs. Darling! The poor dog!" Mrs. Darling and the children ran to her side. Mr. Darling completely lost his temper. "I will not allow that animal to rule my nursery any longer," he shouted. The proper place for a dog is in the yard." The children wept. Nana begged, but Mr. Darling wanted to show them who was master. He dragged Nana outside and chained her in the yard. Mrs. Darling put the children to bed. They could hear Nana barking out in the cold. Now Mr. and Mrs. Darling stepped out into the snowy night. Their party was at number 27, just a few houses down. The stars watched till the door shut behind them. Then the smallest of the stars cried, "Now, Peter!" And that's the end of chapter 2. Thank you for listening.